So welcome to the first installment of virtual Lavender Ink. So in case you're not familiar with us, Lavender Ink is essentially a therapeutic writing workshop we have here at Westy for our queer affinity. So meaning in person, it's only for queer students who identify. And so basically it's a space for queer students to have uninterrupted time to write individually and come back as a community through sharing. And through this, we hope to create a common experience through common struggles. And yeah. So basically this was designed because before break, typically a lot of students in queer affinity have anxiety about coming home, typically to homophobic or unsupportive family members or friends or even just their home country. And it's very easy to fall into the isolation trap when you're all alone and you're not with the people at queer affinity. And also like even at school at Westy, there's not always a space to vent. Even though us at queer affinity, we're like close with each other and we're friends, it can be really hard to say what we're really feeling inside because many of us just aren't comfortable with that. So what Lavender Ink does is that we just offer a space for you to write for yourself. And through this, we hope that our students and us can gain a cathartic experience or some kind of release of emotions, and they walk away from it feeling a little more rested, but also feeling like they have the support and they know that their community is right behind them. And also like what you get out of it is that you practice writing for yourself, and it's a little tool in your mental health toolbox, and just getting into the flow of it is reminding yourself that like, oh, the next time I'm going through something and I don't always have someone to vent to, here's another outlet for me to safely express my emotions. And yeah. And because we didn't get a chance to meet before the break, here's just a resource for everyone. Like this will be up on the internet, so obviously it's open for anyone to use, but it's designed specifically for queer youth. And so to all my friends at Queer Affinity, like whether your break has been particularly rough so far, or if you just like to write or doodle or whatever, feel free to use this as a meditative exercise. And also like when we come back from the break, we'll be having one just like this, but obviously like with people so we can share and it's more fun and we gain a lot more from it. So yeah, like come to the next one, bring a friend, and yeah.
Artlist.io.
So next up, typically when we're in person, we always go over our trigger warning policy / support network because it's a little different because we're virtual. So in person, when we talk about trigger warnings, it's more for sharing purposes because typically when we write, difficult things can come up and in our writing too. And so if people do share or talk about it, we always make sure that we give people time to mark places that could be triggering to themselves or other people. So when they share, everyone feels safe and everyone feels okay. But still, like in this video, even if you're just writing alone in your room or outside, like, cause like I said before, things really can come up in your writing that you didn't think would come up. And so if you do feel triggered and this happens, please be gentle with yourself. I speak from my experience and also what my friends at Queer Affinity have said. Writing is often a very like cathartic experience and it can be really, really beautiful, but you know yourself best. And if it feels more difficult or triggering than it is cathartic and positive or healthy, then it's a sign you can take a break and you can come back to it anytime, or you can just leave it alone. Like it's not really about the result of your writing, it's more about the experience and how it makes you feel. And if you walk away from it feeling a little bit more rested and feeling a little bit more reassured that you have this community. So next I'm gonna show a little infographic that has a support umbrella. Lavender Ink is not therapy by any means. It is not run by any licensed professionals. So if you do seek greater help from adults who can actually provide the resources for you, here are some of those.
Music licensing reimagined.
Alright, so feel free to get a notebook or a pencil out, and if writing isn't your shtick, feel free to take out any art materials you want to. You're totally free to doodle or finger paint or do anything in these next 15 or 20 minutes to help you feel more rested.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
So what happens after? Well, that's really up to you. You can file your writing away and take a look at it later. You can come back to it. You can add stuff to it or not. You can do what I did last time and just throw it in the recycling. All in all, like, it's really the experience over the product. This is just about you doing something that helps you. And yeah, because after all, this is a therapeutic writing workshop. It's more about what we can provide when you're doing just the act of writing. And yeah, so now we're gonna move on to the debrief. Typically we would have one in person or through a Google form, but here are just some questions to reflect and think about as you transition from this activity to the rest of your day. Thank you.
Artlist.io